The
scary.
stats are fake. The news is fake. Nothing that they tell us is the way it is, and you can't really rely on it, right? I would rather rely on talking to you and to a few other realtors and say, hey, well, listen, we can goof around, but the truth is you're like on one of the busiest teams on the planet, at least in the country, right? So you have some good insight. After 3 interest rate cuts, Canada's housing markets are finally making a comeback.
Says who?
Royal LePage blog. Boom. No, but don't you feel that way? Don't you feel like things
This
are
week,
back?
if you were to look
just
at my
me.
particular business, yes, you would say that the markets are ripping and roaring.
Well, so this
But
is what happened at Royal
I'm
LePage.
watching inventory pile up.
Can you call TK and just get a little read on the TK meter, and
Royal
we can
LePage's
write
blog.
if they followed your career.
Give me one blog that they wrote over the last 30 years or 10 years that says something that doesn't mean that the market's about to take off or just took off. Because I guarantee you they've never written a blog where they were like, now is not a good time to buy as prices decrease and buyers should be very careful.
You should be really scared right now. Like, what the fuck are you thinking? Why are you even reading this article? Don't read anything that says real estate. Okay?
Ignore real estate for like 2 years.
At least.
They never wrote that blog.
You don't think that Royal LePage has ever put out something like, in the next 36 months, we have a pretty decent feeling that real estate will be okay again? No? That's too wide a gap, 36
They would say,
really
although the last few months have shown considerable stress on the real estate market as prices decline, we are optimistic due to the lack of new supply coming onto the market and further cuts to the interest rates that are expected to be coming in the next few months. Buyers should be taking advantage now of this opportunity to buy. That's how they talk. It's been going on forever. Read every market release since the history of any Toronto Real Estate Board market data or any press release from Royal LePage or any of the other big brokerages. It's always the same thing.
Always the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's like Ford saying don't buy cars right now. It's a bad time to buy cars.
Oh, that Ford. Yeah. Politicians are the same though, right?
They politicians are
standard issue responses.
Well, the standard issue responses change depending on who they're in front of and what they're trying to raise money for or trying to, get done, quote unquote, right?
Yeah.
They I think they have writers now too, which I guess we should have because we're all over the place. Even though TK, I keep trying to kind of bring us back to the center, you are all over the map today. And I did quite enjoy your car story. But TK.
No, it was a wallet story, but anyways, go ahead.
Well, that's true.
The car had very little to do with the story, but thanks for listening. Thanks for listening. I'm so glad I got a friend like you who, when I'm sharing my deepest, darkest secrets about my most painful memory of the week where I was, nearly in tears on Sunday night.
Back onto real estate for Christ's sakes the whole time.
You have such compassion for my situation.
I have none, TK. Yes. Just to be clear.
I spent all day Monday going to different banks getting new cards and lost half a day of my life. But thank you for your compassion to move on to the next topic.
Yeah. What else do we got going on right now? Did we talk about that? Did we talk about the rate cuts and everything being good, or we just pass that off as total bullshit, right? Because things are not good, even though we're seeing bidding wars and you sold 4 houses this week.
Yeah. Well, if you paint it like that, you might,
if you paint it in a good light, then of course
there might be something going on in the market that's pretty positive. But I think it's very seasonal. I'm talking to the people who are buying. They're very natural buyers. They're just like, yeah, I need a property. I need to live in. I've already sold. I need to, the guys this morning were like,
their kids natural just moved buyer.
And so like, they're not buying because of an opportunity in the market, or they think that prices are going to go up, or they
did you all of a see sudden that buyer? He was super unnatural. Like he was totally unnatural.
There's people who buy, it makes no sense. And you ask them a couple of years later and they say, well, why would you buy this house? And it was just like, well, I didn't really need it. It was just, there was an opportunity and the interest rates were low. And I thought the market was high. And they buy for these silly reasons. But there's lots of other buyers, just like sellers. There's some people who sell because it's like opportunity, take advantage of the market. They think it's going to go down. Playing the market is literally the worst decision anybody can make, both on the buy and the sell side. But then there's natural sellers where they're just like, yeah, my mom passed away and we sold her house. Yeah, we got a divorce. We didn't need it anymore. Yeah, I bought a house already. I need to sell my house. Like that's It's a reason that's going to always exist. It's always going to keep real estate agents in business, whether you agree with real estate agents or not, or AI or whoever. Bottom line is there's always going to be this need for people to buy and sell real estate that is natural and that will never disappear. It won't.
People are talking about another 0.5-point rate cut, which sounds like crazy.
I think that's aggressive, but I mean, it's possible. I wouldn't rule it out. I stopped guessing on rate cuts in like 2022. But bottom line is right now, if you've got unemployment rate starting to tick back down again, and they're adding jobs in September, that's going to be a pretty strong factor that the Bank of Canada is going to consider on October 23rd. They're not going to just look at inflation as one factor. They're using that as like a getting it back under control, which getting it back down to 2% sounds like they're not going to be too concerned about that. They're going to look at the overall economy. So they'll look at the GDP growth and they'll look at the unemployment rate, right? And see exactly where we stand. And maybe we're not in such, I mean, everybody is so like, nobody is willing to be hopeful of a soft landing. We all want a soft landing. Like, it's like the best thing that could possibly happen. But everyone is always just like, no, forget the soft landing. Let's gear back up and go right back into buy. Or no, death. Everybody needs to sell. The market needs to crash 50%. This is not a good times. You know, like everyone seems to always be on bear or bull side of the equation, where it's like, why can't someone just be like, yeah, man, why don't we just land this thing real smooth and we have just enough time for people to be able to get out, and anybody new coming into the market isn't going to get burned by another 20% decrease from here. Like, why can't we all just like accept that might be a scenario that takes part? You know what the answer is as far as my forecast? I have no idea. How the heck am I supposed to know what the government's going to do, what the economy is going to do 2 years from now? Nobody does.
Sure. Well, everybody understands that you have no idea, but
good. It makes that clear.
I think there's enough things going on out in the economy and all around the world and all around us that gives anybody, depending on their perspective and I guess what they want to have happen, enough ammo to make a case for that, right? So you can easily make a case for why inflation should ramp up again based on all these crazy things going on in the world and all this crazy government spending going on, right? You can also make a case for it because rates are going down, right? You can also make a case for it because the government's trying to do anything they can to prop the goddamn thing back up again all of a sudden, right? But you can easily make a case for the idea that, you know, this is all not really happening. We're just trading flat and there's some big pain ahead in the market and there could be another leg down, right? And you can make a case for everything in between that too, like a soft landing, because right now it kind of feels like maybe this moron at the Bank of Canada actually did a decent job. But we all know, TK.
How dare you?
But we all know it just looks like it for now because the stats are fake. The news is fake. Nothing that they tell us is the way it is. And you can't really rely on it, right? I would rather rely on talking to you and to a few other realtors and say, hey, well, listen, we can goof around, but the truth is you're like on one of the busiest teams on the planet, at least in the country, right? So you have some good insights, right? The show gives us some pretty, well, I don't know if you talk to all the people from the fan base that I do, but there's a lot of great boots on the ground insight out there that just comes to us right now, right? And so that mixed with the fact that I'm actually, you know, in the market pretty heavy and doing a lot of stuff, you know, I feel like we kind of have a pulse on things that maybe some people don't have, or some people kind of pretend to have, right? But let's
take a moment now to just appreciate the Canadian Real Estate Show.
We really should.
Hey guys, thanks for watching our Clips channel. Why don't you go and check out some more clips? We got lots of other good content somewhere over here. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Boom.
That was good.
That was good. I like that. That was good.